Ku buka mata sambut mentari, nyalakan layar belajar lagi.
Sudah rindu kembali ke sekolah, tak sabar ingin segera bertemu lagi. Meskipun jauh namun di hati, tawa candamu selalu temani. Meski tak langsung menatapmu kawan, semangat belajarku takkan pernah padam. Walau hanya di rumah saja, takkan padam semangat di jiwa. Perjalanan yang ku lalui, kan ku bagi kisahnya denganmu nanti. Walau hanya di rumah saja, takkan padam semangat di jiwa. Perjalanan yang ku lalui, kan ku bagi kisahnya denganmu nanti. Walau hanya di rumah saja, takkan padam semangat di jiwa. Perjalanan yang ku lalui, kan ku bagi kisahnya denganmu nanti. Oh, this is my journey, so come and join with me. Na 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 na
Ini Rola juga. Tadi aku sama Lia. Ini harusnya dikasih kesempatan yang lain ya.
Hi everyone. Good afternoon. Just a quick check. Can you guys hear my voice clearly?
Ya bisa, Miss.
Yes, Miss.
All right.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. Respected teachers, guests, proud parents, and also beloved students. Welcome to our Cikal Bincang, one of the session or activities in our playground of Cikal learning event. Thank you for coming today. First and foremost, let me introduce myself. I am Miss Imesh and I will be the moderator for today's session. Before we begin, let me give you a picture of what to expect in the next hour. In the session, we have Rula, Ryan, and Alea from Cikal Serpong Year 10 students that will lead you in their activity where they will do the Cikal Bincang to have a discussion with the title of Year 10 Design Album Activity. During the session, it is encouraged that the audience participates in the activity. And with that, you guys can just please write down any questions or any supports to the students through the chat feature on the YouTube. Okay. And then now let me introduce the students first. Yeah. First of all, we have the host here, Ryan. Hi, Ryan.
Hi, Miss. Hi, everyone.
Okay, and then we have two of the students who will share their journey in learning design in year 10. We have Rula or Birulaut. Hi, Rula.
Miss, hi everyone.
Hi, and then we also have Alea here. Hi, Alea.
Hi, Miss. Hi, everyone.
All right. Now, let's just give them a round of applause and warm welcome to our students. And then, guys, the time is yours.
Thank you, Miss Imesh. Good morning, everyone. As previously mentioned, my name is Ryan, and I am from Year 10, Sekolah Cikal Serpong. And today, I will be the host of this show. And today, at this very exciting moment, I'll be having a conversation with two of my great friends who made such an impressive product on Cikal Serpong's Year 10 design program. For those who don't know, in this semester's Year 10 design program, we learn how to make a music packaging by ourselves. And many of my friends took the task so incredibly and made it so mind-blowing that you wouldn't believe that it was actually made by a high school student. And today, I'll I'll be having a conversation with two of them, which is Rula and Alia. Therefore, we'll explore what they made, why did they chose them, what's the process behind it, and so much more. So without further ado, let's put Alia and Rula on the conversation with us. So, how are you guys?
Hi, Ryan. I'm good. How are you?
Great. Rula,
Also
how
good.
are you?
Hi, Ryan. I'm also good.
Okay. So, before we get into the exciting conversation, maybe you guys can introduce yourself. Maybe what do you make and other exciting stuff about you guys.
I guess I'll go first. Hi, everyone. So, for those who don't know me, hi, I'm Alea. I'm currently a year 10 student here in Cikal, Serpong. I'm here with my friends. I'm 15 years old, and I'm definitely so excited to share my learning journey with all of you here. So, yeah, can't wait.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rula. I'm also your STEM student. And I'm also equally excited to share what we've come up with.
Okay, so let's begin the conversation with the most basic question. How does it all started? Or maybe what did you guys learn in the beginning of design class this semester?
Yes, so I guess I'll start with that. So first we were given an assignment to understand the basics before going in depth about the music packaging itself or creating an album. So at first, Miss Imesh gave us assignment about understanding what these two terms are. Those two terms are access and ownership. In my opinion, these two terms were quite hard to understand. Yet at the same time, it's also very interesting to understand about it. So just a brief explanation to all of you here. So access basically means, in other words, is temporary or you're borrowing something. On the other hand, ownership, you're claiming that certain object maybe, or in the music industry, that song or that EP or the album and many more. So technically, for access, given like an analogy, it's basically how you as Spotify listeners, maybe you have access to thousands or millions of songs on Spotify, yet you do not need to have the physical quality of the albums like on your rack. Maybe you don't need them, so you have access through another platform called Spotify. And then for ownership, it's basically the opposite of access, as I've mentioned that before. It's basically having, so for example, you bought something and that technically is yours. So for example, in this case, you bought a CD, that's yours. That's the physical or the physical quality of it. But it does not have to be, in terms of physical quality or not. It depends on like different kind of circumstances of what are you trying to identify what access and ownership is. But to get other people's understanding together, or like it's easier to understand, that's where it all started. So yeah, that's our first assignment. How about you, Joel? What do you like to share?
The topic of this semester is actually similar to the topic of the first semester. In the first semester of design, we learned about product packaging and advertising, and also a little bit of graphic design. We implemented what we learned in semester one on the project this semester because it's almost the same thing. The difference is at that time it was a brand of our choice. Some students chose a local brand, where instead here we're talking about a whole album. But basically, the things we use to create these are the same, right? Like how to reach the audience, or and then there's also graphic design, and that's what we implemented that when we learned it to creating the cover of the album.
Oh, interesting. So let's move on to the second question. So After about 3 to 4 years in Cikal Serpong myself, I learned that each program has have a big project after we reach a certain level of understanding, or what we in Cikal usually call as summative. So, can you guys explain what's your summative and maybe the assignments that leads to the big project or the summative itself in the design program?
Miss Imesh gave us the summative assignment of redesigning a physical release of an album of our choice. I chose Childish Gambino's Because the Internet, which is the one on the left.
Yes, and I chose Frank Ocean's album, the one on the right. It's called, yeah, the Blonde album. At the time, I was quite listening to his song, his album actually, when the assignment was given to us, and thought that it can be suitable and understandable for our generation today. It's not a recent song; it came on to 2016, but yeah, I just got into his songs at the time, so yeah, that's my the original album cover. So yeah.
Well, I chose Because the Internet because at the time I hadn't figured out what album I wanted to do. So I like a few Childish Gambino songs, so I just went and did it. I didn't see why not.
Oh, so now I would like to get to the main question, or what I usually call as the most interesting one, or the most interesting question. Tell me about the process of you working on the summative.
After we chose our album, we created a mood board composed of things like genre and characteristics of the artist. Mood boards are supposed to basically capture the mood or the feeling of something we want to convey. But here, I just use it to basically put together pictures of Donald Glover, Childish Gambino, and the color palette, and some writings like characteristics and what's unique about the album and other things.
Yeah, for mines, I did the same thing. So as basically as Rula and what we were assigned to do, but I just put as much. I had another idea before. I had another idea of what I want my album to look like. At first, this was the whole planning as well about as well as what Rula mentioned. I put some unique like fun facts about his album as well, the characteristics of him, and maybe that can help with adding some concepts into the album designing afterwards, as well as the meaning, a brief meaning behind it, and like um, some other fun things about the artist. So yeah, I guess that's mine.
Okay. I realize that you guys haven't mentioned uh, most of the challenge yet. So can you guys highlight that area more?
Actually, there were actually multiple challenges, but I think I would like to add a little bit more, if that's all right, Ryan, about the process. Can we go back to the alternative sketches? Yes, sorry. So before we go into the challenges, which is very interesting as well, here basically how mine's on the right regarding regarding the two alternatives that we were assigned to create, and like the reason behind them, and that way we can narrow it down to however we would like to our album to look like. So mine's are two different kinds regarding the two interchangeable names and then the color theme and everything else, but I'd like to re-elaborate that soon on the next slides. So Real, would you like to give a brief to yours?
So there are two sketches. Yeah. The first one was about capturing what Childish Gambino said about why he named the album Because the Internet. Basically, he thinks that the internet is a place where people come together, and I wanted to capture that concept on the cover of the album. On the right one, the alternative sketch 2, it was far more simpler, but I didn't. It was far more simpler. It was about camera with the spotlight on it, basically like how the internet can highlight people from everywhere. But I didn't visualize, I didn't use any of the two, but I used the concept taken in the first sketch.
Okay, so sorry, I think I cut your explanation. So can you guys highlight the challenge more in this section?
Right. Thank you, Ryan. Okay, so for mines, again, there were multiple, and there were many challenges, but I like to point out the main challenges that I had to face, and I think that it's interesting to share. So first, it was the equipment that I have. I don't have Adobe Photoshop or professional platforms or applications that allows me to do freely of however I want to design my album maybe. But knowing that of our time as well, I was not able to do as much as how I wanted to. So I had to stick with Canva and do what I have to do. But at the same time, you know that there aren't features that you can do on that platform, as well as designing of however you like and everything else. So it was quite challenging. And then the other thing was the brief amount of time that we have on term 4 or just semester 2. Since semester 3, it was all about the planning, the meaning behind it, creating the mood boards, the sketch alternatives, and many more. And then regarding the term 4, it was all about the action, creating, printing, and then after that, designing, redesigning, revising our album sketches and everything else. So it was very, there's like loads of work for us to do, especially trying to balance it out with other subjects. But yeah, that was that for the brief amount of time. And last but not least, it's how sometimes each and everyone kind of feel like that we're not as satisfied for our work, that we feel like it doesn't look good enough and everything else. And I feel like I've asked some of my friends as well about their work and how do they feel. And then sometimes they ask like, oh, I could do more about this and that. But other than that, to tackle these problems or challenges, what I did for the equipment, I kind of not study through, but like roam around Canva and then kind of understand what features that I can do and then take advantage of that and then kind of implement that into my album. So that's what I did. And I'm actually quite proud of the final outcome. It's actually better than what I expected, but I think at the same time I could do more, but yeah. And then for the brief amount of time, I use the amount of time that I have. I know that it sounds a little bit cliche, but whenever like I'm still in no mood of motivation and everything else. So whenever like my family asks for like a movie time or everything else, but I still can, you know, little by little add some designs into my CD album. That's what I did, even though like I'm not in any kind of motivation to do it. But then after that, my interest in like working on it started to increase. And then it finally helped me to build that motivation. And I think that it's quite interesting as well. And then last but not least, what I did for helping, you know, for not being insecure about my work and how mines are probably not like that as good as the others, my friends and everyone else. What I did was I asked people's perspective about my work. Like I want to see how they see my work. For example, does my CD album like, you know, gives a vibe of this, or does it give a different kind of message to you? What does this mean and everything else? And then I ask some of my family members as well about what they think. And then after that, it kind of narrows down and I kind of revise from that. And I asked Ms. Imesh about her opinion as well about my CD cover, my CD sticker design and everything else. So it definitely helps. So yeah, that's what I did to tackle all those problems. What about you, Rola? What's your challenges?
For me, a major issue I have is procrastinating, and on top of that, I'm a perfectionist. I feel like that is a really bad combination of traits because I delay working on the project, and when I do end up working on it, I take a lot of time to reach a product that I consider satisfactory. Eventually, I didn't meet my deadlines, and all that work done to satisfy myself is all for nothing. I guess, well, you'll see in the final product later that I put characters on mine, and I manually, instead of finding transparent images of them, I manually mask them. There are like, I don't know, maybe 10 to 15 things going on that. And you could, yeah, I would guess for me to manually do all that, that would be something done to only to satisfy myself. Another thing is, I don't actually, I think it's part of the procrastination that I also delay on brainstorming, or maybe I just take a long time to brainstorm the product because even when I'm working on the thing, I don't actually have a visualization of what I want on the album cover. I just do stuff and let it just be a mess and I figure it out later. So I guess that's also part of the challenges for me.
Mm, okay, so after the hard process that you guys talked about, can we see the final results on screen, please? Wow. Ooh. So, for the audience, can everyone who's watching this show react to these artwork in the chat room and let us know what you guys think of these artworks, these cool artworks. So, while waiting for everyone to react to your artwork, can you guys explain the concept and meaning behind your final work? Sorry.
Gambino said that he named the album because he thinks the internet is a place where people come together. I wanted to put emphasis on that concept in my design, the idea that the internet brings people of diverse interests and personalities together. There are different characters and different cultures on it. And again, I wanted to put emphasis on how the internet brings people, like different people living all around the world with different things they like and different just many differences together. All of that differences put onto one album cover. Being honest, I think I focused too much on that concept and not enough about the target audience and Gambino's general style and vibe. Thinking about it now, I don't feel that it fits Gambino that much, but yeah, it is what it is. About you, eh?
All right. So for mine, for Frank Ocean, the theme itself circles around identity, youth, and nostalgia. Then there is the two interchangeable spellings that I've mentioned before. So if you search it on like Google or any kind of browser, you have to spell it with an E, like blonde as in blonde hair. But on the other hand, his album cover is only blonde without an E. And why did he decided to put that interchangeable spellings? I think it's quite interesting to brought up, especially regarding femininity and as well as masculinity. Frank Ocean himself would like to put it there regarding his views and what he identify himself as. And so the themes of duality between masculinity and femininity itself, of blonde and blonde without me, takes part in the album itself. And I would like to take an opportunity to say this regarding stereotypical of how a masculine person looks like or how feminine person looks like. I think like however or whatever like you're from, like any type of race or any like wherever you come from, and especially regardless of gender, I feel like whenever people say like, oh, masculine person or like a masculine attribute include independence, aggression, and la la la. And regarding competitiveness, meanwhile, feminine is more nurturing, caring, and more of that. Moreover, I would like to say that it depends on each and everyone, like who you are. Especially, Frank Ocean would like to imply that this also song is about finding your identity as well. Regarding just be yourself, I guess, as well as that. And that's what I got from, like, the message that I got as well from Frank Ocean's album. I think everyone gets different kind of feeling and meaning itself. I've also created them in this one hampers box. As you can see, it includes a CD envelope, the lyric book, and some photo cards. I guess those are mine.
Oh, sorry. So, sorry. Last but not least, uh, is there anything you guys want to say to the audience after you go through all the hard process behind it? Maybe what you learned, what you would have done differently, or maybe some advice to the artists out there who would love to create an artwork just like what you did on this semester design program.
All right, I'll start. A suggestion of mine, probably for if you're a designer or like you're an artist or whoever you are, or especially you're designing music packaging, like us as a year 10 student, maybe for an assignment or anything else, implementing a physical quality from the publishings of that certain artist is actually quite important. This can help the engagement with, like, you know, the fans, maybe, like, you know, if there is. And regarding the targeted audience, sorry, and feel more connected or supportive. This is what I also get when I was starting to, when we were given the assignment about access and ownership, from one of the, sorry, one of the person that have implemented that. It's quite interesting how the physical quality, why would anyone bought it? It's because sometimes if you're a fan of someone, and then like you would definitely like to engage to that person's, you know, publishings of whoever they are, for example, merchandise, a souvenir, or anything like that. So I think that it's quite important. So take an example of what I did. I created some photo cards, and I think that it can definitely help with everything else. It can be a sticker, it can be any kind of merchandise, I think. But yeah, and it definitely can help both parties. So yeah, I guess that's mine. What about you, Roa?
I'd like to say that you don't need the best of the best software or the best of the best equipment to make really good designs. I used Photoshop and Alea used Canva, but I'd say that the designs we made are of the same quality. The point is, don't let not having the best software or equipment demotivate you from making good designs. If you have the interest in it, if you have the will to do it, you should be able to do it. You can work around the complications of the software or the things the software don't have, and maybe you can actually use the things that it doesn't have to your advantage.
All right. Wow, that was, sorry. Okay. Wow. Guys, that was a very, very, very nice and thorough explanation about your work. Yeah, we really enjoyed so much. And there are already some questions here. Yeah. I'm gonna read it. And then Alea and Rula can also answer the questions. Yeah. Okay. For the first one, question from Miss Dira. This is an interesting one, yeah. If you could redesign album of any Indonesian artist, okay, who would it be, and what will the album looks like? Also, if Ryan, because I know that you're learning this too, if you want to answer, go ahead. Okay, who want to go first?
I guess I'll go first. I don't. Actually, I'm clueless. I don't know. I've never really thought about it, but maybe. I guess I have to see what I've been listening to lately. But maybe. I really. I really like the song "Sendiri" by Krisha. I don't know. It's like it has like a good meaning about it, and I like how the flow goes. But probably redesigning and how the album looked like, I'm still not sure, because I have to listen to it again and research about the meaning behind it. So yeah, what about you, Rola?
I don't know. I listen to a lot of Indonesian songs, Indonesian music. That Indonesian songs basically like dominate my playlists and like the stuff I learn. There's a lot, so I can't say. But when I saw that question off the top of my head, I would think Ardhito Pramono because I guess that's like the most recent Indonesian music. It's not, well, it's by an Indonesian person, but it's not really. Some of his songs aren't in Indonesian, but for what will the album look like? I can't say because yeah, I would need to learn about the album and go through like the whole process. I wouldn't know because I haven't thought about it. How about you, Rai? You want to talk?
Well, currently I don't really listen to Indonesia song though, because the newest songs are mostly emotional songs, or galau-galauan lah, the apa, which I don't really like. But then if we are talking about Indonesian song in general, I think I would pick Iwan Fals though. uh I'm not sure how it will look like, but Iwan Fals is one of my favorite Indonesian artists.
Okay, wow, that's interesting, yeah. And then also there's a question from Almer Fayat Syahir. This is also a very interesting question. Kakak, do you guys listen to all of the songs in the album, then make summary story for design cover? Or you just pick one song for your inspiration to design the cover? Nice question, yeah? Okay, who wants to answer this first?
I guess I would go first. Okay, full disclosure, being fully honest, I haven't listened to all of the songs in the album because the album is so long, and I don't actually have interest in it. Interest in the other songs because it's more of a. So here's the thing that I just found out, and I should have implemented that the album is actually also there's also a screenplay from the album that you're supposed to you can act out and you can say the dialogue in tune with the album itself, and the timings are correct. That's why most of the songs in the album aren't actually songs with like lyrics. They're also just random noises and random music. So no, I did not listen to the whole album to create the album cover. But did one song inspire me to do it? Well, one song did. Well, not one song, like two, three songs did from that album did inspire me to choose because the internet. So I guess, yeah. Le?
Yeah, okay. Well, I actually had to listen to all, and it actually can. Well, I actually got into one of them, and then after that, knowing that about the album, and I want to get into like knowing the whole, what I can put in my design cover. That's what I did. But same as Rula's, the song was quite like, I don't know. It's not all he sang the song, I guess, but there also like other people just like talking and everything else. So it was quite abstract at the same time, but it's quite interesting. So that's actually one of the main points that I like to put that's like one of the ideas as well that I'd like to put into my CD covers. So yeah, that's my answer. What about you, Ryan? What was yours?
Well, I'm not sure that I could answer this one since everyone haven't seen my artworks, but I think it's better if you didn't. It was far from their creation. So I think mine, I there's a little bit of both. Because I did listen to all the songs in the album which I made, the design for this program, but then at the same time I did not really summarize them all. I only pick one of my favorite song, and then I took I took the inspiration from that song only, because if you I think it is very hard to make this a proper summary from all the album from all the songs in the album, because there are a lot of songs in one album. So yeah, that is my answer.
Okay, yeah. So everyone went through the different process, yeah, of creating it. Okay, and then on to the next question from Miss Ami. Which process or step from this project that spent much of your time? Did you ever feel stuck while creating this? If yes, what did you do to overcome yourself being stuck? Interesting, yeah. Okay, Rula or Alea?
I'll go first. Okay.
Okay.
For me, it was definitely the front cover. I had a different idea. I remember I told Miss Imash this, but I had like a different idea of what my planning would be, and from the alternative that was shown before, my album cover was very different. But then, as I was designing the back cover, I kind of like that one to be the front covers. Then I told Miss, can I swap that? And she said it was possible. So, but at first it was quite hard because designing as well, like referring to the previous question about summarizing like what the whole album is like, and then implementing it into the CD cover. I don't know what like side of the album that I like to portray more. So that's what I think that spent much of my time. And then I did feel like I'm kind of stuck while creating it because at the same time there were piles of assignments as well, and I kind of like don't know where to start and everything else. So I kind of as I've said before, I kind of took a break, and then I kind of didn't like my work at all. So then I asked my friends about their opinion about everything else, and then it definitely helped. Even though like some criticism, constructive criticism is also kind of sometimes they say like this doesn't like this doesn't sound. I mean, this doesn't look like the album how it's supposed to look like, and it kind of hurts sometimes. But then it made you to a point where it actually helps you to improve your album. So that's mine. What about you guys?
I would say would be the designing the album cover, because even though I made a sketch, I said that I didn't actually follow the sketch, and so I kind of had like a blur in my head of what the album was supposed to look like, but I didn't actually know how to structure the album. So I spent a lot of time tweaking it and changing it, and sometimes just stare at it for like 15 minutes. And well, sometimes, and then I could like get an epiphany of like, oh my God, it's supposed to be like this or it's supposed to be like that. But yeah, that's definitely like the part that I got stuck with and I spent the most time with.
Okay.
Well,
Ryan, go ahead.
sorry. For me, the most time-consuming part of this semester design program is looking for reference itself, because throughout my life, I I've never even encounter a physical album itself. All I know about a physical album is the CD that my parents bought every time we go mudik. And those are literally the only reference that I had. So I go through a lot of surprising things throughout this semester design program. I look at different things that I don't even knew exist. For example, I look at the sorry, I forgot the name, but it was a band. This is the first time I ever look at a physical album from a band. And meanwhile, I was never encountered it before, as I said before. So yeah, that is for me the most time consuming part. So yeah, that is my answer.
Okay. Yeah, maybe some people looks like creating or designing something only takes a little process, but turns out it didn't, yeah, guys. It took lots of time for researching and stuff. All right, there's also a comment from Azza Kalfani Rashdan. I think the album is not for people under 13 because the parental advisory sticker. Yes, true. Because this kakak-kakak is already past 13 years old, yeah, but that's a very nice thing. Azza, should I call you Azza? That we should always see the sticker or guidance on the album or movies. Yeah, if you want to watch or listen to some songs, make sure that it suits our age and needs. Yeah. Nice. Okay. And then I can see also the teachers here are having fun talking about songs because Miss Novi said, I love galau-galauan song loh Ryan. And then Budira told us that galau songs are the companion of work. Yeah. It makes them more productive. Galau song and coffee, perfect combination, Miss Tias at. So maybe that's a very nice concept, yeah, for you guys one day if you want to redesign a galau-galau songs, yeah, or galau-galau album, yeah, that can be something you can put in front of the research and observation, yeah. And then I can see there's a question again from Amira Haika Kamil. If this is similar with Ibu Dira's question before, yeah, but this is not segmented to Indonesian. Yeah, if you could choose another album of a different artist, who would you choose? Okay, Ryan, maybe you want to go first?
Sure. I'm not sure though, because I rarely hear any other song these days. I watch too much YouTube video though. But I think. Oh, by the way, for those who don't know, I made the album from. I redesigned the album from Zaid Wolf called Out for Blood, and I think another album that I would love to redesign is the album uh from ACDC though. Uh, Wait. I forgot the name of the album, but one of the song is Back in Black. Yeah, that is the song that I currently hear oftenly. How about you, Rul?
I don't actually know. I mean, I guess I said before that I talked about Ardito Pramono before, and yeah, I guess him, or maybe I actually thought about, I don't know um, if I could do it or not, but maybe a soundtrack album from like a movie or um, a video game or a play or something. I guess I don't know. Like,
I've been listening to multiple songs lately. I not an album though, maybe like a single, but maybe the artist, he's called Noah Kahan. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but I've listened to his songs like back in 2019, but his songs are great. Probably him, or Kundo Aji, creations by him. It's really great. Or maybe yang lagi kayak Bob right now. Bob is like Olivia Rodrigo maybe, but that's like, yeah, another option. But yeah, I had a really fun time creating the design, so I think I'd definitely like to do it again.
Nice. All right. Or maybe guys, since this is our, I don't know, we already have like 7 or 8 theme song of Playground. Maybe you guys wanna design the CD compilation of all Playground theme together, yeah? That can also be, yeah? Okay, I think we can call it a wrap, yeah, for today, yeah, for this session. I mean, not for today. And then I also would like to say thank you for Ryan, Alea, Rula for your amazing session. It is very, very great to see wonderful talents of our students and what they have learned during our virtual classrooms. Yeah. I hope that you guys enjoy this session and have learned something from something new from today, yeah. And then I would also like to remind you guys that this event doesn't stop today, because after this session and tomorrow there are still Cikal talks, Cikal bincang-bincang, and fun activities, yeah. And then you guys can also browse through our virtual gallery on our website, yeah. You guys can see all of our events on our website or check our streamed events on Sekolah Cikal official YouTube channel. Lastly, I would like to say thank you one more time to all of the audiences here today, fellow students, proud parents, and also respected guests. Thank you so much for having me, having us. Good afternoon, and see you in other events of Cikal. Bye! Yay! Okay, Ryan, Rula, Alea, congrats for this. I think we're still live. Is that